Hi, I'm Steve Benesh, and I am a candidate for President-elect of the State Bar of Texas. And this is my wife, Jennifer. In my first State Bar video, I described to you the goals that I hope to achieve as President of the State Bar. In this video, I just want to spend a couple of minutes telling you a little bit about myself and about our background. That Hampton wasn't there in 1981. There was a pharmacy there instead. And on the 4th of July, 1981, I stopped by that pharmacy on the way to a Willie Nelson concert and met Jennifer for the very first time. The next day, I called her up, asked her out, and here we stand, 42 years later. Speaking of here we stand, it is at this location on the roof of a downtown high-rise that I proposed to Jennifer 2 years after I met her in 1983. And I chose this location because I worked my way through college as a night doorman on the first floor. 4 years of a full-time, 5-day-a-week job to pay my way through college. I must have picked my location well because she said yes. And 2 years after she said yes, in 1985, we got married. And 2 months after we got married, I began my career at UT Law School on the University of Texas campus, which you can't see from your perspective, but is just across the street from this building. 3 years later, in 1988, I graduated and took the bar and became a member of the State Bar of Texas. That's the headquarters right there. 35 years later, I find myself standing before you as a candidate for President-elect of the State Bar. I have so enjoyed the 7 months of this campaign. I have traveled tirelessly to meet you where you are. I've driven more than 17,000 miles on Texas roads. I've taken more than 80 trips to destinations across the state to hear your questions and hear your concerns, and I have heard them. If I am elected President-elect of the State Bar, I will pursue answers to your questions. I will pursue resolution to your concerns. I will bring my tireless work ethic to the job. I so appreciate the opportunity to have met so many of you over the last 7 months, and I am thankful for the friendships I have made. Now, as voting draws to a close, May 2nd is the last day, I humbly ask for your vote. And once again, I thank you for your time and for your friendship.
Hello, Jerry Alexander. I told you last time we'd make another movie like the State Bar asked us to about what we hope to accomplish if I'm fortunate enough to be elected President of the State Bar of Texas. That's what this is about. So let's go for another walk. The first thing I'd like to do is focus on wellness, attorney wellness, especially for the young people. In traveling around the state and talking to the attorneys, what I've tried to do is find out what causes us so much stress in the practice of law, and to see what the State Bar can do, if anything, to eliminate some of those factors. In my talks with attorneys as I've traveled the state, what I found out is that most of the stress for established attorneys comes not from the practice of law, but from the business of practicing law. And I think there's some things that the State Bar can do to take a lot of that stress away. For the younger attorneys, especially the ones that recently graduated during COVID, the problem is getting settled in to their new life as attorneys. I think we have some things that can help them too. And remember, attitudes become culture, and we can all do a better job of being more positive, more civil to each other. And I'm going to ask the judges of this great state of Texas to become involved in that process also. With regard to the disciplinary rules, I would form a 3-year task force to give them a good hard look. There needs to be a standing requirement under those rules. There needs to be a separate procedure for grievances that are filed in response to a fee dispute. And if it involves a client's money coming out of an attorney's escrow account, that needs to be entirely separate also. This is the George Allen Senior Courthouse in Dallas, Texas. It houses the civil district courts and the family courts for Dallas County. We're standing right next to the entrance from the parking lot. This entryway was an eyesore. I decided to get some people organized so we could do something about it. So what we decided to do was to transform it into a living work of art. I believe I can couple the skills I learned in putting this mural project together with my experience as board chair of the State Bar of Texas Board of Directors in 2019 and 2020 to accomplish the things that we've talked about. It's our profession. Let's make it a better one for everyone. Thank you.